this infographic from the CDC. I absolutely love the CDC. I get everything from there, and it's actually the most common cancer in the United States. But most of it can be prevented. And well, this is kind of, I feel like this is the updated one in 2015 is the newest data, and it says that 80,442 new cases of melanomas of skin were reported, and over 18,000 of them actually died from melanoma. And 1 in 5 Americans will develop skin cancer in their lifetime, and that's really prevalent, and I did not think about that once. Again, I did not think about it because I thought, you know, I have olive skin, I'm not like translucent white, so I shouldn't have to worry about anything, but it turns out anybody can really get it. So the tan is actually your skin's response to injury. So it might look nice to the eyes, but your skin is crying for help. It's injured because of it, and that's what gives you the tan. And the factor that contributes to skin cancer is the ultraviolet rays, and that comes from the sun. Obviously, there's UVA and UVB, you know, ultraviolet A and ultraviolet B. Ultraviolet A is what does the damage to the skin, and because it penetrates to your epidermis, the outer layer of your skin, and it does damage like aging, wrinkles, and skin cancers too. And it, like I said before, it doesn't matter what your skin tone is, you can get skin cancer. You can also get it from tanning beds, whatever people do these days, tanning beds, tanning lamps, or whatever they do. It actually emits a very high level of UV lights, which contributes to skin cancer. There's actually 2 more common types of skin cancer that are not as bad. They're treatable, but they do cause disfiguration, which is why you shouldn't really get any cancers. But there's the basal cell and squamous cell carcinomas, which are highly curable, as I said before, and the deadliest of them all, even though it's not as common, is the melanoma. And it is responsible for the most deaths in skin cancer. So I'm actually gonna, this is actually on the CDC too. I found it, a little picture of the skin layers, and as you can see here, the squamous cell carcinoma, it really affects this part of the outer layer of the skin, and the basal cell, it affects all this over here, and the melanoma affects the melanocytes, which is where the melanin is produced, and it gives you your skin color. It's a little deeper in the skin too, just above the dermis. All right, so there are actually characteristics that are associated with skin cancer. People that have lighter skin color, blonde hair, red hair, blue eyes, green eyes, and people that had a history of skin cancer or have somebody in their family who had skin cancer, they're more at risk of getting skin cancer. But as I said before, exposure to UV light is the most contributing factor, and that includes indoor tanning, as I said. It exposes you just to high levels of UV radiation, and just for the purpose of getting a tan. So I don't think it's worth it. And there's actually a way to find out if you have it or not. Like it's all about like the ABCDEs of melanomas. You look at the asymmetry, the border, the color, the diameter, and if it's evolving. So I actually have a little chart that will show you. It's a little blurry. But what you're looking for is, for asymmetry, is if one half is unlike the other, as you can see here. This one is a little bigger than this side. And you're looking at the border. So this is irregular. So if it's regular or defined well, you should be fine, but this is how something that's cancerous looks like. And then also, there's a variation in color. As you can see here, it's like a dark brown and then a lighter shade of brown. So that can be, you know, it could end up being melanoma, but you never know. The best way to do it is to go to your doctor and see a dermatologist. And they also tend to be large. Like, as you can see here, the pencil eraser is 6 millimeters. So usually that's the rule of thumb, but there are exceptions, of course. It could be smaller and still be melanoma. And lastly, if you wanted to see if it's evolving, so if you notice a mole, it's just like it's bigger than you remember, it could be a warning sign, and I would definitely see a doctor for that, because I actually have one that I'm kind of concerned about. And I actually included some examples of it. These are actually cases, and you can see over here, this one's the melanoma. It said in the case study that it was larger than 6 millimeters, but there's also different coloration to it, and there's actually, if you go here, you can actually see all the cases. They have it all, if it works. they actually went through the ABCDEs and they went over like the description based off of, they had more pictures of, that's like only the best picture I can see. So, let me just, a little slow. Alright, so this is the one that, case one, and you can see it was slightly asymmetric, which means half of it does not match the other. The border is slightly irregular, and the lesion was larger than a normal mole, which is larger than 6 millimeters, and it was changing, like, according to the, the patient, it was changing in size. So this is really cool how they have all the cases, and this is the second one that I had, actually, which was also asymmetric, and the border is slightly irregular, and this is actually a close-up of the picture that I had over here. See how the different coloration? And it's pretty large too, so. Again, the best person for this is like the dermatologist, because they know their skins. Alright, so I'm all about prevention. I am, after all, in public health, and we love prevention. We're all about prevention and promotion. And one of the things, the most important things to do is, especially around midday, which is 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. when the sun is the strongest, you want to seek shade. And if that's not possible, like if you can't stay indoors, try to like stay in under trees or something, anything with shades. And it's important to also cover up as much as you can. It's actually clothes made from tightly woven fabric, especially the darker fabric, like black and the dark colors, they offer the best protection against UV light. I didn't know that either, that was pretty cool. And it's also important to wear a hat. The most common hats people wear are the baseball caps, but the problem with these is they don't cover the neck and they don't cover the ears. So if you do wear a baseball cap, make sure to put sunscreen on your ears and neck and cover what's exposed. It's also important to wear sunglasses, especially one that goes around and protects you from as much UVA and UVB rays as possible. And last but not least is to apply sunscreen. That is extremely important, and it's important to do it half an hour before you go outside, because once you go outside, it's too late for that. And you want to look for something that has at least SPF 30, but I've heard people say 15, so I mean it goes back and forth, but I would just say SPF 30. I mean, no more, no less. That's what I would do. And you want one that's broad spectrum, which means it covers both UVA and UVB rays. But most people are finding that the sunscreens are covering the UVB, which is what turns you into a lobster, it turns you red. And not the UVA, but the UVA, as I said before, is what causes the damage to the skin. And it's important to reapply every 2 hours. Don't just put it once and that's it, forget about it. That's not how it works. And this is actually how, this is the American Academy of Dermatology recommendation for choosing one. As I said before, it should be broad spectrum, which means UVA and UVB coverage. SPF just indicates how well the sunscreen protects you. And then there are ones that are water resistant, but there's a difference between water resistant and waterproof. There's no such thing as waterproof, and it's only water resistant for like a limited time. I think 80 minutes is the maximum, but even then it's better to be safe than sorry and just reapply it every time you go in the water. And it actually takes 1 ounce, which is a shot glass, to cover yourself with sunscreen. That's how much typically you have to use. And this is the video that I was talking about. So it does include some statistics about like how many people get melanoma because of tanning beds. But I don't know if I want to show it, but I think like there's like really cool statistics that I do want to show.
No, I think he asked, and I said no.
That's okay.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
it does say it like, it doesn't say it like in words, it types it. It's a major cause. So he's basically just giving out like, little advertisements for free tanning, and that's the tanning bed. So basically they came in for a tan, but they didn't get a tan. They end up going to the back where it's actually sort of like a funeral. Yeah, they were not very happy about that. Yeah, it'd be better with voice, but there's no audio. So it's all it is, just different people, different pictures, different faces. But just trying to get the point across. It is a very dramatic way to do it, but it's kind of bringing it home, and that just worked for them. And one of the girls, I know you can't hear, but she said that I was thinking of getting a tan, but now I don't really want to anymore, and I mean, it helped with that, so that's it. That was my presentation on sun safety. Any questions?